Welcome, Louis Herms. Man, you were here for the Truth Tour, and that was like a crazy, wild thing that you were doing all around the country. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because, we hosted this event for you.
It was just a blast. But the Truth Tour, the whole premise of that is our mainstream media has been lying to us for several decades. It's really a state-controlled operation. If anybody really paying attention, they would figure that out pretty quickly. The challenge is not everybody is paying attention. So the Truth Tour is bringing people together that have a lot of truth in different avenues. Some are in regards to the health industry, somewhere in regards to politics, human trafficking. So we kind of spread the gamut at the beginning with the Truth Tours, and you were at one of the ones at the beginning. And it's pretty fantastic because people started to wake up, and even better, they felt like they knew things, but they just weren't being told the truth. But they also felt like they were in an island. So when they went to your facility and others, suddenly there was a community that was built immediately where they're like, wow, there's other people that know something's wrong with what we're being told. And that was the premise. And we woke up a lot of people, met a lot of people, traveled. I did, I think, 117 of these in about a 2.5 year span. So that was pretty huge. And obviously, I've done a lot of speaking engagements separate from those two. So a lot of traveling, a lot of talking, a lot of documentaries, a lot of interviews, do my own show. So it's been a busy few years, but I believe people are starting to figure out that we've been lied to on a level that's pretty disgusting.
When did you decide that you were going to run for governor of California?
Recently, actually. So for months, I've been asked by people to run for governor and office and so on and so forth. And to be frank, I just told them, under a corrupt election system like we currently have, I said, I don't see the purpose of running. And then it was a God thing one night, and literally I just got it downloaded, and it was like, you're running for governor. I'm like, okay, what does that look like, right? And it looks like I'm the disruptor. I'm the one that's exposing election fraud. I'm going to expose human trafficking. I'm going to expose these parasite controllers on both sides of the aisle that have been manipulating and trying to hold us down, keep us from resonating at our highest level. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm told that I'm going to get a lot of hate for it. I'm fine with that. I'm already the number one listed hateful person on the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is ironic because I'm all about love, not hate. But clearly I don't forward their $500 million agenda. I don't support that, so therefore they're all over me. But that's a good thing. I'll wear that as a badge of honor.
Thank you. We do appreciate you, Lisa. I have a question for you. On this Zoom thing, I just want to be able to go to a double screen here. Is that a bad idea?
Yeah.
Got to listen to Lisa. Okay, so we're picking up. We're still recording. Louis, I think what a lot of people are wondering, and probably one of the most important questions, is: do you think that you're going to have enough hair gel, to run against Gavin Newsom?
Yeah, it's funny you'd say that. Well, my wife's a hairdresser, the best I've ever seen. So, great question, and the correct answer is yes. The good news, Gavin Newsom's not going to be in it anyways. He can't rerun. But who might run is Kamala Harris.
Oh no,
that would be hilarious. That would be fun. What we have is a very unique situation here, Charlie. We have what's called an open primary. I like to call it a jungle primary. People have different names for it. And what that means is anybody, regardless of party affiliation, the last two can be selected to go to the general election. Now, I believe ultimately that was probably created as a corrupt piece of control, so they can always have their two selections in there, whether they were two controlled Democrats, two controlled Republicans, one of each. When I say there, I'm talking about the parasite controllers. So that works really to my advantage, though, because I think that there's people are so disenchanted with the Democrats right now, and it's really sad because if we were under the Democrat policies of JFK, I think we'd be doing great, but we're not. We're under a control mechanism that's purely ideological, and they really give no care about we the people. So I believe the Democrats are going to destroy themselves. They already have 20 some people running, and if Kamala runs, that's gonna be a debacle. So you may even see a system where an independent conservative like me and a Republican could be the two final people in a general election, which is going to be very, very interesting. I have some significant advantages, and obviously I have some disadvantages because I do not align myself with the current, what I consider the corrupt GOP of California. I think they're a placeholder for corruption, and they appoint who they want. And if you're not ready to accept a deal, they're not going to support you. So that would be the downfall. I also think that's my strength because I think people want to appeal to somebody that is all about them, we the people.
Well, I did want to ask you for clarification about that because you talked about all these issues with the Republicans as well as the Democrats. So then, how do you run? Are you an independent then, or?
I'm an independent conservative. In fact, I had to file my 501 paperwork as a non-party. So that's exactly who I am. And I don't have an issue with the Republicans except for the way they've been used. And I liken it to this. So in California, you have by the way, I'm talking about party, not people. And this is a designation that people have to understand because the people are great. I think there's great Democrats, actually. I think there's great Republicans. The challenge is the parties, the controllers themselves. So I asked myself, would I rather have a snake at my front doorstep, which is the Democrats, where they tell you what they want and they're going to do what they say? Or would I rather have the Republicans that tell you what they are going to do for me and then they stab me in the back? That would be the snake under my sheets. I would rather have the snake at my doorstep so I know what I'm dealing with, right? And I believe I'm going to appeal to a lot of Republicans that are disenfranchised because they've been promised the world and they get nothing. And I actually think I'm going to appeal to some Democrats that are saying, I'm just done with the corruption because I'm going to go after the corruption very, very hard. All I care about is the people. It's only the people. There's no way I can get paid off. I won't be threatened to leave. I'm going to be the anti-politician. And I think that's the appeal that's really going to help me.
So can people, are they going to feel comfortable with, say, leaving the Democratic Party or the Republican Party? Do they have to join this independent party in order to vote for you?
Nope. That's the beautiful thing. They don't have to join anything.
Really?
They can stay as a Democrat, they can stay as a Republican, and they can still vote for me.
Oh, that's great. I thought, okay, I guess what the disadvantage would be is like if you were not, say, Democrat or Republican, then you kind of could possibly lose those votes because generally people, right? I mean, is it? Go ahead.
In this unique primary, I have an opportunity to capture votes from both sides. And I'm not going to play to the middle, though. I'm going to be myself, my authentic self. I'm just going to tell the truth. But I think people haven't heard the truth, and I think they may matriculate. I believe they will matriculate over to our value set because I'm just going to be honest with them. And they don't have to agree with everything I say, but at least they know that they're going to be getting somebody that's a straight shooter.
Yeah, I've seen your work also regarding the trafficking of human beings. And I want to know that is a huge problem, not only here in California, but all around the world now. So maybe you can offer your point of view here. It seems like it's on the top of your campaign to be able to deal with this.
It is. So here's the deal. And this is where I'm trying to get the information out so people can really absorb it. If you look at the top three industries in California, right, their top three industries run at a 10 to 15% profit margin, like healthcare, big oil, so on and so forth, agriculture. They run about a 10 to 15% profit margin. If you look at the total gross income that they can figure out from human trafficking, and the experts say it's probably 5 to 10 times more than they can figure out, that would put human trafficking already in the top 3 or 4. But as soon as you look at the profit margin, when human trafficking, child trafficking is 90%, that puts it #1 industry in California. That jumps above everything else. So this is why they do everything. When I say I'm talking about the controlling parasites, they do everything they can to keep human trafficking going, because this is a major funding mechanism. And the difference between the trafficking and the other industries is trafficking's not taxable. So they don't know, right? So you don't know what money's going into the judges, and it's very hard to track, although we're doing a pretty good job lining up, and we're going to be going after some very corrupt judges that are in the middle of controlling this. There's some corrupt police officers that are in the middle of it. There's a lot of Hollywood elites that are involved in this. It is very deep and very dark, and most candidates, honestly, Charlie, will probably run from this issue. And I believe, like a firefighter, you run to the fire, you don't run from it.
Yeah. So for the people that are watching, if there were 5, 10 bullet points of the things that you can relieve for Californians here by running and by winning a governorship, what would they be? Because I know there's several things on your list that I've researched, and you also talk about the education system and the indoctrination of our children. Those are things that are important to you as well. But please, this is all you now. Like, what message do you want to give to voters of California of why they should vote for you?
Well, the first thing I want people to know is we are under a construct of division, and it's intentional. In fact, the reality is, I believe that most Californians, if we have conversations right and left together, right? Blue and red, conservative and liberal, Republican, Democrat, whatever they want to call it. I believe if we were to do a Venn diagram on that, 80 to 90% of our belief system would be the same. We have some certain values in there that are identical. And I believe none of us would want human trafficking, right? But we don't hear that from either party because it's not divisional. It would actually bring us together. I think none of us want corrupt government. Even though the election fraud has benefited the Democrats, I don't think anybody really wants election fraud. I don't think we want riots on our streets the way that we have it now. I really don't believe people want mass illegal immigration. I think they would want them to be documented when they come into the country. I don't think we want our teachers and education system indoctrinating our children. All these things, we come symbiotically together. I believe we have the same viewpoints. But what do they focus on, right? They focus on only issues that are divisional. And that's what I'm going to do my best to wake people up. So yes, I'm going to hammer all those things. I'm going to make our education system better. And, because last time I checked, in the word teacher, school, and government, there's not the word parent in there. But in parenting, there's the word parent. God forbid we actually even have parents make these decisions, right? I know transgender is a huge push right now. Frankly, if you want to be transgender, I'll support that, honestly. It doesn't bug me. But that's an adult decision. That's not a decision for a minor, and that's certainly not a decision that we should be pushing on minors, right? To teach sexual positions and things like that in middle school and high school is ridiculous. It doesn't matter if it's heterosexual or homosexual. You don't teach that to our children. These are discussions they can have with their parents, right? Believe me, they're going to figure it out from their friends anyways. That's that's normal conversations that teenagers have. So we need government to stay out of virtually everything, and we have to have a trust factor. So I'm going to do what President Trump did in regards to Doge. I will Doge California. We will absolutely find that the corruption in California, the overspending, and I believe that we can remove the spending so much, Charlie, that in essence, with some other fixtures that we have in place that I'm working on now, we may be able to get rid of state tax, state income tax, and property tax. How amazing would that be? Well, if we're not paying corrupt officials, and we're not paying off lobbyists, and we're not paying off NGOs, right? Hey, we have an opportunity to do that because California drives a lot of revenue into this state already based on just how amazing it is. So I would say those are the core values that just off the top of my head that I'm gonna really focus on.
Good. Well, anything we can do here to help you with your campaign, just let me know. And if you want to use this venue, again, please let me know, because maybe we can do a little grassroots thing here for you on this side.
I would appreciate it. I'll definitely probably starting, let's see, where are we now? Late August, early September, I'm going to be traveling all up and down California and hitting hundreds and hundreds of locations. And you'll be top towards my list. You're so generous the first time. I appreciate you. And, you know, what matters right now for everybody watching is just to open your mind. Just open your mind that there may be a different way to go about things. It may not be the old way that we've been taught, because the old way that we've been taught is an intentional construct to keep us separated and in order to be controlled. Because if they have division, they have control, right? So I would open your mind to some of the policies and things that I'll be launching within the next few weeks. And I think people will say, wow, these are common sense ideas. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do is run a common sense platform, which, as we know, is pretty uncommon nowadays.
Well, you are the governor of common sense, and I really appreciate you coming on to this podcast. One of the most important questions is, do you think that you're going to have enough hair gel to run against Gavin Newsom?
Yeah, it's funny you'd say that. Well, my wife's a hairdresser, the best I've ever seen. So, great question, and the correct answer is yes. The good news, Gavin Newsom's not going to be in it anyways. He can't rerun. But you know who might run is Kamala Harris.
Oh no,
that would be hilarious.
I wish the best for you, and we'll pray for you and your family for protection and just good things to come here in the next few years.
Really appreciate it. If anybody wants to see what I'm doing, just go to screwbiggov.com.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Louis.
Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate you, brother.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.